Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000AD, and today I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? Oh, a tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle for a home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday world of say.
Hello from sunny Southern California, and Roman's bookstore isn't closing despite what our local news said, thanks to ChatGPT.
And Mr. John Burtis.
Howdy to all you drockers out there. Here I am sat in the sunniest of the southeast, in the lovely Garden of England, just counting down to the flight next week. At this very time that we're recording, I'll be on the plane, hoping somebody doesn't bomb it.
Rossy,
I'll crack that joke with people and they find it distasteful when I
Just
say to people, just to let you know, if we die in the flight, the documents are hidden away in the house.
Just don't say it at the airport. Rossy, does ChatGPT actually say your place is closed?
So, the short version of the story is that we have an annual clearance sale that we, for like 2 or 3 years, we had it in a tent outside the parking lot, and it was decided it was too hot and too much of a pain in the ass to haul everything out there. So we have it in our event space inside with the air conditioning. We call it the tentless sale, or we just call it the tent sale. And it's been a tent sale literally decades longer than it's been an outside tent sale. So, and I've been one of the people in charge of it this year for reasons unknown to me. I didn't have much to do with it. And so I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to Comic-Con for a day to help the Antarctic Press guys pack up on the last day. And so, during the 2 weeks that we had this, or let's call it a week. During the week that we had it, the store was so fucking busy. It was like the manager said, the general manager of the store said that it was like Thanksgiving week sales. And we had people lying on the floor, sitting in line on the floor in the aisles, and dogs, and it was a freaking zoo. And it wasn't so much because of the sale, because I thought the sale had played out. Frankly, some of the stuff that we had the last couple of years, even though it was just things we had that didn't sell that we marked down, sometimes we had some pretty cool stuff, and at a lower price it was even cooler. For the past 2 or 3 years, certainly since the lockdowns, some of the stuff was just kind of like meh. But so I thought the sale was just, we just do it as a tradition. It is what it is. And so I was like, what caused this sudden explosion? Well, it turned out one of our local news stations, KTLA, did a text article online, and it appeared on Facebook and other online venues. And it read like they took 3 different articles. Before the lockdowns, the owner of the company did little local interviews, and the general gist was, hey, before you order online during the holiday season, remember your friendly neighborhood bookstore, because, if people don't buy from us, we are going to go out of business. So, so that went down the line of telephone, did the telephone game, and people took that as, oh my God, Roman's bookstore is going out of business. And that was combined with some more recent interviews where he was looking, he's looking to retire and sell the company, but none of the people who were interested, he was looking for like the perfect person who wouldn't just sell the company off for parts, who would make it like a Pasadena landmark and keep it going the way it's been going, maybe just upgrade and get us some new carpets and stuff. He did some interviews about that, and there was one where after he did that interview and people just like sent us money for no reason. They're like, here, $30, please don't close. I don't want to buy anything. So I did the interview.
So after you pocketed all the money, you go on holiday.
Saying like, I've never seen any. I never saw that money. I never saw it.
It's in Al Capone's vault.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. So, what's his face?
Geraldo can go get a cup of coffee.
Took it. So you get a nose job. So that outpouring of when he said about the holiday thing and that telegraph thing, like we might close, we got so many orders and we were so ill-equipped, we're so low-tech and so ill-equipped to handle it, we ended up having to refund a bunch of them because we just couldn't physically, with the staff and equipment that we had, fill the orders in time for Christmas. So, and even then people were saying, that's okay, just send it whenever you can send it. I mean, some people were really, really mad, but there were other people who were like, well, whatever, just, stick around another 100 years. So it was a very heartwarming Mr. Holland's Opus kind of moment. So anyway, they took all these little, this article that recently came out, read like they took bits of all those interviews and articles, ran it through ChatGPT, and knitted together the story that had and it made it sound like if you don't come to the tent sale, we're going to close. And it was like, we'll take it, but it was it reads so bizarrely that like it does not read like a human wrote it. So I mean, I'm sorry if a human did write it. I apologize to their writing skills, but it was and we are very, very grateful because we did need a kick in the pants as far as sales go. But yeah, it was just so strange. So if they want to run another article through ChatGPT through when the holiday season comes around, please by all means go right ahead, and we'll add some more sob story parts to it. So anyway, it was so when I came back from the days before going to Comic-Con, it was like, holy shit, I was like exhausted. I went to Comic-Con. That was a very, very long day, which ended with me packing a bunch of shit, making a bunch of trips to the van and loading up the van, and then a long ass ride home. And then the next day, was I off? I don't even remember if I was off. I think I had like one day off to recover, and then like boom, right back into the insanity for the rest of the week. It's been a long couple of weeks, and then the week before that, I spent a couple of days, doing my friend's wedding. So that was a pretty intense period. Now I'm going right into Bertus time. Woo! So that's going to be the end of it. That's that's you, John, are the last exciting thing I've got going. So, well, I mean, it's going to be 2 days, but it's going to feel like 4 or 5 because you plan like everything down to the second, and you keep an eye on the prize, and you're very on point. So we are going to, me and your wife are going to experience a lot of things in a very
Hey, now you be careful with that.
I can tell.
That's right.
Oh, I'll just be sitting in the back seat with my head sticking out the window like like your adorable dog that you would eat.
Of course.
So
that's what they're there for.
Yes.
Food.
So anyway, that's that's been my last 2 weeks and then trying to do all. There were some days where I was like, I know I had to do shit, and I was like, nope. In fact, John, prepare yourself. Well, you're not going to be spending much time at my place. The first wave, right? I don't even. Are you even coming here at all? Or was that?
We might drop you off before we go back on the Friday.
Okay, and that's it. Okay, well, I'll try to get everything vacuumed and dusted, but if I succeed, that'll be more for me than for you because it's getting kind of grimy here. But yeah, I was like, I got shit to do.
That's the life of the singly, that isn't it?
What's that?
That's the life of the singly. You can't be bothered to clean things up. You just go, I'll just move things around.
Yeah, no, I haven't even moved things around. That's the problem. it's like I came back from Comic-Con with this. They sold me, finger quotes, remaindered me a box of my Your comics, and I was like, great. So I put them on the kitchen counter and clunk, and there they've been for over a week.
You know what? I was just about to say, have you got things on the counter?
Hell yeah, I do. Well, the day that I get the day that I have that kitchen counter cleared and things sitting on it for no more than 24 hours, that is the day that I finally got my shit together.
Brilliant.
Yes. So anyway. So who died?
Well, we went into that one quick, didn't we? Out of nowhere.
There was no smooth segue into that.
For this
well, okay. For the sake of our listener, Flint and I have figured out that there's something weird going on with the connection that makes us sound like we're talking over each other. And honestly, yeah, no, it's fine with you, John. We can hold a normal conversation, but I have to like pause so I'm not tripping over whatever Flint's saying. So yeah, so that's why it sounds a little awkward.
Right. Anyway,
technology.
I've got 4 names. First one up is Alan Arlberg, aged 87, British children's author. Have you heard of that person?
Is that the one who wrote Each Peach, Pear, Plum?
Yeah, I think it could be. When I said it to Carolyn,
Jolly Postman.
Yeah, the Jolly Postman, yeah.
Yep. And Jamberry?
I'm just looking at this big list of...
No. It's not the Jamberry guy. So, yeah, I think Jolly Postman and Jolly Christmas Postman are the biggies.
Yeah.
And then Each Peach, Pear, Plum. And some of the other ones, like both of those, I don't even know if Jolly Postman's still in print in the States. So some of those, I don't know how big they might have made it over here. But what have you got?
Well, he's part of a married couple who created many children's books, including picture books that regularly appear at the top of most popular lists for public libraries. Mm-hmm. They were together 20 years until Janet's death from cancer in 1994. He wrote the books and she illustrated them.
That's right, Janet.
And it says that she won the Kate Greenway medals for illustrating their books. Mm-hmm. Yep, there we are. Each Peach, Pear, Plum was named one of the top 10 winning works for the 50th anniversary of the medal in the US. Yeah, now when I mentioned this name, Cowland came straight out with all these titles of these books that the person had written. And I was like...
She's a teacher,
that's
right?
So I'm like, yeah. I don't know any of these names. But yeah, quite comprehensive.
Give us like 5 or 6. So
right. So the written ones: "Hooray for Bread," "Everybody Was a Baby Once," and other poems. "The Boyhood of Burglar Bill."
Why I changed my gender.
The Wolf, the Sheep, and the Letters.
Yeah, he didn't. He definitely did not write Pride
The
Puppy.
Giant Baby, The Night Train, The Snail House, My Brother's Ghost. So there's quite a lot.
Yeah,
Does he-
see,
does he have,
those I kind of vaguely remember from back in the 90s.
Does he have I Love My Pronouns as one of the kids' books?
Nah, not these ones.
Oh.
He started his books in 75, so he was well before the madness took over certain people who can't think for themselves.
Let me see if I can find the.
I've
got a couple.
He's whack-a-mole now.
Anybody wants to?
That's
Yep.
it.
Okay, this one, if you want to look it up on your own time, you're more than welcome to do so. But in fact, there was two of them that I was like, dude, yeah, okay, Randy Rainbow and the Marvelously Magical Pink Glasses. And even if it wasn't exactly what you think it's going to be, based on the character, and it's based on a real person named Randy Rainbow, written by Randy Rainbow, and the Marvelously Pink Glasses. Even if that part of it wasn't exactly what you think it's going to be, there's like no kids picture book in the past 20 years that's been like, character name and their marvelously magical whatever gimmick thing. That is like such a boomer misnomer of what a kid's picture book is in 2025. That, Felix and his amazing underpants kind of bullshit. That's
Nice.
there are just not picture books like that anymore. So
Right. Now, next name on my list. You will not have heard of him, Rossy, but Flint will have. James Whale, age 74, British broadcaster, mainly radio broadcaster.
didn't he direct Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein? He directed Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein.
That was before this James Whale.
Oh.
Yeah, so he did like radio stuff. People would ring in and he would rip into them when they didn't agree with what he talked about. And I think in the last sort of 2 years he'd revealed he'd got cancer, and then it was a case of it was an aggressive form, so it was just basically waiting for him to die. There we are. It says here, you'll love this bit. Whale was known as a presenter who was controversial and outspoken. In 2008, he was suspended by TalkSport for urging listeners to vote for Boris Johnson, blah, blah, blah. And then this is the best bit. And in 2018, he was suspended pending an investigation for appearing to ridicule a guest, the journalist Nikki Hodgson, who was speaking on air about her experience of sexual assault. Ooh. I think, Jesus Christ, you don't ridicule somebody over that.
No.
But so there we have that. The next one is one Mr. Ross. This one Rossy told me about. Lonnie Anderson, age 79, American actress. Now, when you said the name, I thought, I recognise the name from somewhere, but I don't know where. And then I looked at the spouses, and I went, Bruce Hasselberg, Ross Bickle, there we have it, Burt Reynolds. That's where I recognise her from.
She was Bert's punching bag.
But she had starred in a few films. Vigilante Force, uncredited. Stroke of Ace, she was...
No.
What now?
Are you being funny?
Stroke of Ace. Hang on, this is the bit. Her role was Pembroke Feeney, and it says in the notes, nominated for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress, and also the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst New Star.
Well, I saw Stoker Ace in the movie theater when it came out.
Stroker.
Is it really called Stroker? No.
Yeah, it's Stroker.
Yeah,
Stroker Ace.
It's starring Burt Reynolds as the eponymous Stroker Ace.
Really?
NASCAR driver.
Oh my God. Okay, I always thought it was called Stoker Ace.
Yeah, she accused. She
Oh, well, you
accused.
might have seen this one. She went to Three Ninjas
Oh, she accused Burt Reynolds of physical abuse on at least a dozen occasions. So now you know why that didn't
Because
last.
he was out of his mind on cocaine and everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've got like a lot of television films, you were saying, which were all like never heard of any of those.
She was
but then you've got the TV stuff.
she was
SWAT.
yeah, she was with Linda Carter. They had their own detective series.
Well, we might get to that in this. SWAT, Invisible Man, Policewoman, Police Story, Barnaby Jones, The Love Boat, WKRP in Cincinnati, The Incredible Hulk.
The Cincinnati one was the one she was. The
Fantasy
Cincinnati,
Island,
listen, the
Arms
Cincinnati.
and
Hold
Crime.
on, the Cincinnati show was the one she was most famous for.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she played like a ditzy blonde, which was, you know,
What she was.
she plays a ditzy blonde who is actually smarter than she came off as. That was like the thing.
Right.
You could basically say she was the Pamela Anderson of the 70s,
Oh yeah,
before plastic boobs were a thing. Yeah, and she had a poster that was like, you know, first there was the Farrah Fawcett poster, then there was the Lonnie Anderson poster, and then there was
Right.
Pamela Anderson.
Right. Yeah, you can see the look.
She was a Sydney Sweeney of the of the early 80s or late 70s, early 80s, I guess.
All right. And the last one I've got is Angelo Maria Ricci, age 79, an Italian comics artist. And this person had, let me just get it. He did, now I've got this one up because I recognise one of the comics. He started a long-running collaboration as a comic artist on Diabolic,
Oh, wow. Okay.
leaving in 2023 for health reasons.
Mm.
And he'd also done, let me just get these bits up, his debut.
That's a long time.
Illustrated story written by Alfredo Castillo for Mr. No. It's an Italian comic book first published in Italy in 75.
is that
My
the comic
Italian
book?
buddy,
Whenever there's that comic
turned
book,
me on
Mister.
to Mr.
Listen,
No.
that comic book, Mister No. Is that the comic book? Whenever he's asked a question, he says, "No."
Nah, it's the other one. It's where he goes, "Hey, Mr. No." Well, he also did part of the Martin Mystere stuff, which when I put the cursor on it, it lights it up, and it's a very of its time cover.
Yeah.
Quite nice actually. The Detective Del Impossibile.
So this doesn't go anywhere any far. This doesn't go to my friend over in Italy, okay? But it was just between us.
It
and
does
us.
not. Now it's on YouTube.
Well, you know, but it strikes me, you know, he keeps telling me about like the massive sales that comics have in Italy, but it strikes me that there's only a few dozen Italian comics that really do that well, and they've been running forever. So these are like the Batman, Superman, Spider-Man comics, because Mr. No's been going forever. Diabolic's been going forever and ever. And there were a couple of other ones. The mystery one, that's been going on forever. And so, you know, he's always sending me like, oh, we did a mural. You know, there's a mural up of some Italian comic book character, and they're very highly regarded and they're considered art. And depending on where you go, that you kind of get a taste of that here. But I think his perception is that, like, we still pretend like they're for kids here in the States, and it's high art with generational regard to the artists, and the artists being treated like high art, you know, high art artists over there. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but I mean, it's not that bad here. It's just God help you if you try to do an indie comic in the States now. But also, have either of you guys seen the new Diabolic movies?
No.
No.
Well, I got like one of the fancied up versions of the old John Philip Law movie, and it's much better when you see it the way, with the colors and the framing done properly. It's a much better movie than I remember it being when you see it the way it was meant to be seen. These Diabolic movies, my dad literally thought it was made in the 1960s. The way the film looks, the way it's shot, the colors, the costuming, the way it's paced, everything is so on point. It's a slow burn, but if you want to see a movie
must
that
be a
just
fan film.
looks gorgeous, and well, you know what? In a way, you could say it is, yes. But I mean, they made it very comic accurate, and the girl who plays his hot blonde accomplice, she's a pretty hot. I'm not really a blonde kind of guy, but she is definitely a hot blonde. So if you want some eye candy, you could do a lot worse than this movie. If you want something a little different, you could do worse than that movie too. So there's 3 of them. I haven't seen the second 2. I've heard that they're a little more action-packed because I think this was kind of an origin story, the first one.
And that, my dear friends, is the end of the deaths this week. Brought to you...
What were we saying about that?
Oh, I just said that the deaths there were brought to you by the American Eagle jeans. And then I just said I'd never even heard of them until this publicity campaign thing in the last week. So it's worked well, all that free publicity around the world.
Mm-hmm. So what's next?
Well, I didn't mention the other week, did I, about my fantastic time at the festival, did I?
I don't remember you, if you did, it kind of was surprisingly short.
Right, no, so I'll do a quick recap now.
Please.
So me, Kaz and Samuel went to the Blueberry Festival, and it was equally as good as the previous year. The drink was very nice, and the food is top notch. It's really nice. And the music was fantastic. So a band that all the music musos reckon are going to break it. I enjoyed them, but I just think they're a bit very samey across all their sort of singles, or whatever they want to call them, their releases. But I think they should do okay, but they won't make the big time, you know what I mean? And that group was called the Molotovs, a brother and sister, and another bloke who was on the drums. Very energetic on stage. Also, we watched Arif on the first night, who went down well. But the big one for us, for a good laugh, was the it's just Happy Mondays with Sean and Bez, who were just hilarious, but so good interacting with the audience. Bez is famous for just being a person who's on stage shaking maracas, doesn't do any singing, just wanders about the stage, moving about. And every time he went to the front of the stage, on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, right in the middle, and he just lifted his hands up to say, like, I'm here, the whole crowd would cheer. And you just thought, all those musicians, I mean, they're a fantastic guitarist. They must just think, here I am, thrashing away, doing this amazing music. He's just walking about, just shaking the maracas, standing up, and everyone's fucking loving it. Somebody threw a bloke guitar on stage. He picked it up, and he stood in front of this guitarist and pretended to play a guitar, and the crowd went nuts. But they had quite a lot of songs that I remember. Really enjoyed it, but the funniest bits were... So obviously, a lot of people wanted to see these. Now, there's only about 4,000 people at this, probably less. But you know when people try and sneak in, they've waited, and they know the big songs are coming, so they'll go to try and get to the front. But there's no gaps. There was a bit of hoo-ha near us where this bloke, Cameron, said, oh, he was furious. These 4 lasses tried to get past him, and he just went, no, get fucking behind me. And there was that instant, which was funny.
Oh, that happened to me at a Newman show. That really pissed me off too.
Oh, yeah, it's annoying.
What, with 3 people?
Yeah. They all stood in a line facing the stage, so they were in front of each other. but my favourite bit of the night was this bloke who was in front of Carol, and there was two blokes. He obviously loved the group, and he kept moving back and back. And at one stage, he was right like an inch away from backwards headbutting Carolyn. So I put my hand behind him and just gently moved him forward and said, "Excuse me, mate, you're right on top of my wife here. You can just stand there." Within 5 seconds, right, of me letting go of his back, I didn't even like force it. I just, when you just gently move somebody, he turned round, went fucking ballistic to me, and he went, "Don't go to touch me again," blah, blah, blah. So I thought, oh, here we go. I said, "Do you want to step outside, mate? I'm fucking flattening you." He moved away. Carolyn was like, a look of disgust. I was like, oh my God, alpha males at it again. And then he turned around with about 30 seconds later and he profusely apologised. And I just thought, did he realise I wasn't the person like the rest of these middle classes here? I probably look a bit more thuggish than all these wimps who were hanging around. And I just went, "No problem, mate." I said, "Just keep in your space." You know what I mean? Because it was ridiculous. When Carolyn told me he was right there, I looked and I just thought, this, if you know where people are around you, you feel the presence, don't you? You're in the crowd. If you're going to start moving, you go left to right or forward. You don't fucking go back because you can't fucking judge the distances. But that was that was my like funniest, enjoyable bit of the weekend. But it was just brilliant. Met people who we'd met the weekend, the year before. Chatted, seen some new people. Sam loved it. No, it was pretty damn good. I just had one alcoholic drink each day because I was driving, mainly because we used a taxi the year before for one day, and it was a fucking nightmare. So I thought, I don't need a drink. I'll drive the car. It's only 15 minutes. And so we just drove the car and just parked it up. And that way as well, you can just walk out the festival, put stuff in the car if you buy stuff, so then later on when you're dancing about, you've not got it in your hands, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed all that. And we booked tickets up for that in the middle of the festival. Carolyn said, "Oh, somebody mentioned that they've already got next year's." And I'm like, "Have they?" I looked online. I went, "Right, when we get home tonight, I'll be getting them. I'll book them." Because I don't really like booking stuff on the phone in the middle of somewhere like that. I'd rather go onto my secure line and do it in the house. So I paid for them. So I paid for them, and I've already paid for the Made of Stone Rock Festival. So that's like 600 quid gone, ready for next year. So that you just forget about it, you know what I mean? Don't know who's playing, who cares? It'll be good. And then my other thing that's very entertaining is at work, the DEI madness of the new drivers. The stories I have been told and been a witness to. I witnessed one this morning, which was, I'll tell you that one. So I was waiting. So imagine a long bit of, this is on the side. So just imagine a long bit of road, and on the left-hand side at 90-degree angles, all the trailers parked up. But because the yard is so small and so tight, you have to park up. Once they're all taking up them spaces, you have to park trailers down the front, so it makes like an L shape, so two trailers in front of, and then two trailers and two trailers and two trailers, right? Now, this morning, there was somebody already reversing into the final space of the long line of trailers on the left. So I was waiting for him to pull off, and then I would reverse along the front of all the trailers and drop my trailer. This person, I was watching him, I thought, he's never going to get amazed at the wrong angle. Shunned, forward, backwards, forward. Wasn't changing the angle. He just kept doing the same thing over and over again. So he was very close to hitting the trailer on the drive, on the near side, on the curb side, left-hand side. Then he was near to ripping the side of the trailer off. Then he drove forward. This is after 10 minutes. He drove forward. He drove past me and he parked on the other side. And I was out mega quick to just see what he was up to, and he was walking away in a weird sort of huff. And so I went up to him and said, where are you off to, mate? He goes, I cannot get in there. It is too tight. I said, I tell you what, get in your lorry, drive off down there so I can get in position and I'll go in there. Then you can park in front. And so I got in the lorry, got into position, it's all about angles, that's what it is, and got straight in. And I just thought...
That's what she said.
That's right. The problem is, I don't know if this factory is correct, and I've never bothered Googling it, but we get told that people are not being tested on reversing for their license. That is the primary thing. 99% of deliveries, you're reversing onto a bay. You're not driving in, offloading either side and driving out. The curtain side as you would. So that was my seeing somebody do something. I've also seen somebody drop the trailer on its knees, which means they've pulled away but not wound their legs down, so the front of the trailer hits the ground, which if it's full, it wrecks, it ruins the trailer, the legs are dead, gone. But anyway, these are the stories I've been told of our new drivers. One of the women, she had these, now I don't know if they're expensive, but you know those fake long nails that women love to have put on top of the nails? She brought one of them and took 2 days off because of it. Another woman has every month she has very heavy periods, so she takes a week off every month. Another person, I mentioned this one before I think, but this one he's done it a few times now, whereas if he does a little bit too many hours, or what he thinks is too many hours on one day, he won't come in the next day because he's tired. This is my favourite one. I'll end on my favourite one. So there's a female driver who is infamous for falling asleep whenever she can get a chance. I've been told by a store that she was outside their place for 3 hours and the depot rang up and said, have you got 2 people on your bays? And the manageress went, we've only got 1 bay here. We've got 1 driver on at the moment. The other one's already gone. And they said, well, she's still there. So she said, I'll have a look outside and see if she's there. She was outside, and when she went out, she'd been asleep since she'd been outside. She fell asleep. But the best one was the other day. There was roadworks on the M25, and on the A25, which is it would be primarily the M25 years ago. That's the road you've got to take to then get where you go. She was on that. Something happened, a big accident, and the traffic was stockpiled. And eventually, the thing was cleared. Everyone drove off, but her. She had a double-decker trailer, which means it's like a tall trailer, and she'd fell asleep. Because the cars behind her couldn't see what was in front, nobody knew for 15 minutes that everything had driven off and she was sat there asleep. There was vehicles spinning the horns apparently, because another driver was a little bit further back and he saw loads of flashing, but he couldn't see what the flashing was about because of the distance back he was, but he could hear the horns going as well, but nobody knew. And eventually somebody pulled up next to her, knocked on her door, knocked on her window, and woke up and said, it's been clear for ages. And apparently when the office checked, it had been clear for 15 minutes because there was another driver ahead of her, so they knew when the movement happened. But she just fell asleep. And I'm like, it's
did he
funny.
not get fired?
She should get fired, but what did I say at the very beginning? DEI madness.
Wow.
And they've even admitted it in the office. You can't get rid of anybody of certain things because of what they need. They need numbers. We've actually got, I only knew we had 2 females when I first joined a year ago, but we got about 5 or 6 now. And I know people will go, there's no such thing as DEI madness. Well, if you work in an industry where you're the only one sat in a room doing some drawings and stuff, which is obviously a lot of my feed people, you don't know the real world. When I go to the transport office and there's 30 people there, I can see and I can have a guess who's good. And I witness the things out in the yard and I can see the skill levels of people. Now, everyone has a bad day. Nobody's the best, greatest driver, even though I told the management the boss of transport, I'm the best driver there. And I'll stand by that. I'll put myself against anyone to beat them. And that's not just in driving skills, that's in unloading the lorry, getting back, not taking the piss. I'm not that type of person. But when I witness these things around the yard, people, the way they drive, the way they're reversing, and I'm like, oh God, I wouldn't want to be in front of you on the road because I can't trust you. You know what I mean? It's like when people go into roadworks and you get somebody at the last second wants to get in front of a lorry, and I'm like, and Carolyn will tell you, if I shouted Carolyn and said that beginning bit, she would say what my answer would be. Why would you get in front of a lorry in roadworks? Because if that lorry driver's shit and he doesn't brake for some reason, that's 40 odd ton going into the back of your car. But if you're behind him, then who cares? He's in front of you. There's no problem. But why would you squeeze in front of a lorry, you know what I mean, on the off chance that you might get away quicker? But yeah, the problem is it's across the industry, because I talk to mates who I used to be at the old place with, and they tell me the standards of some of the people who come to their places. It's sad because in the end, people die because of it. You know, it's like I was at one of the stores the other day, and I was on the you love this. So they've got a big scissor lift. I don't know if you have one of those at your place for stock coming, Rossy, but they had a big scissor lift which can take like 10, 12 pallets on it. Not 10, 12 big cages. So
we're not. No.
So I climbs on it. I go up, opens the trailer door, and off we go. Get the stuff on. So we finish. So I close the trailer door, and I'm turning around to go back on the scissor lift, and the bloke's lowered it, and he looks at me as a young lad. He goes, "What? Do you want me to bring it back up?" And I went, "Yeah. How am I going to get down there?" And he goes, "Well, you could climb down on that bit there." I said, you think I'm going to climb down that? I said, "No, I could climb down on that." I said, "But what if I slip, right? And then I hurt myself." And then when the company goes, "Well, what were you doing climbing down there?" And I'll say, "He told me to do it. And what will your answer be?" "I didn't say that." I said, "So get that lift back fucking up here now. So I'm going to climb back on it, and I'm coming down." I'll give him his due. After his initial huffing and puffing about it, he was back to being normal again. But I just thought, gone are those days when I'm jumping fucking 6 foot down fucking things, fanning about, you know what I mean? But Jesus Christ, I thought, the fuck do you think I'm going to be doing up here? And he says, "Well, the ramp," because he has to move the ramp, and the ramp hits the trailer. And I goes, "Well, it hit the trailer." I said, "It hit the trailer when we first put it up though, didn't it, mate? So who cares?" I said, "I couldn't care less about that vehicle." I said, "My body's the thing I care about." I said, and if they said to me, "Why is that damaged?" I would say to my place, "Well, you sort that fucking site out then, because there's no other way to do it. You've designed it like that." Yeah, so that's the way I sort of talk to people. But there's a couple of the managers, when I get to the stores, they have like a look of relief when they see me coming, because they'll tell me the stories. There's one, Sutton Sheen, they always say it, they go, "Oh, thank God it's you." Because people just take the piss. Now, honestly, the drivers come up to me and they're saying, well, like last night I had a Burgess Hill, and I was, oh my God, there was arguments. Oh my God, this is a brilliant story. So one of the drivers goes, "Oh, that lasts you like 9 hours, John." And I went, "What do you mean 9 hours? I intend to be back here for the next job within 4.5 to 5 hours. He said, "Well, how?" I said, "Because I don't fuck around." Anyway, I gets there, and there's a milk lorry in front of me, another Arctic. Now, we have to go in. If we turn up and that lorry hasn't gone in, he cannot go in. We have to go in first, because all the staff are waiting for me with all the food I've got. Only one staff member is waiting for the milk. So they need to get my stuff off. So I gets there, and I'm in a double-decker, which means I've got 50, 60, 71 things, 71 cages of stuff, and I've got frozen. And there's another lorry on the bay, double-decker, and he's just coming out. So I walk in, and I sees the young lad come out, and I says, "All right, mate, just let you know, the old milkman's out there." He goes, "Don't worry, I'll tell him to bugger off. You're coming in next. I said, cheers. So I get in the lorry, and then the young lads finished talking to the driver in front of me. He walks back off into the warehouse. This fucker starts reversing in. So I jumps out the lorry. I says, what are you doing, mate? I said, you're not going on the bay. He's just told you. He goes, my hours are running out. My hours. And I'm like, I don't give a shit, mate, about your hours. You go in there in that bay. Get out. I said, I'll tell you now. You go in there and he starts showing me his paperwork. I said, what are you showing me that for? I said, you were told to go, like the other week when I was down here, because it happened the other week, but it didn't go this way. It was the bloke just drove off last week. But this time, this bloke was having a right argument. I said, I'm telling you now, mate, you go on that bay and open those doors and then reverse on the bay. I said, you will find out how much time you've wasted because they will tell you to leave. I said, they want me on that bay. So anyway, I walks in the warehouse and I can't find the bloke. He's gone to get the manager or the manageress. And I see him come towards me, but by now he's on the bay with the doors open. And I says to her, I thought, right, I've got to get my bit in quickly. And I said, I think he's gone on the bay with the doors open because he'll feel as though you will have to unload him now. And she just went, oh, he's got another thing coming then. She walks straight outside, tiny little woman. It was brilliant. I was behind her, like something out of a film, like a henchman, like with my fingers together, tapping, like laughing under the breath. She just went, what are you doing in the bay? He said, oh, I've got the milk. She went, what did my back door man tell you? She said, don't come in here. I need that double-decker inside. And he was like, oh, but she's no ifs or buts. Get off the bay, close your doors, and get
What
out.
accent is that?
It's a foreign accent. That's all it is.
I thought it was.
It's my generic foreign accent.
It's your bloody foreigner's accent.
That's right. And so he was like arguing.
But they can't in their curry.
So me and the back doorman, I stood about 10 metres back, and we're just giggling like little children because we're just like, this is fantastic. She's like not even 5 foot, and she's pointing up to the driver, saying, "You off that bay, get off the bay." And so anyway, eventually she's on the phone that he has to their boss and saying, right. She goes, right. You got off the bay. Listen to what she's got to say. So he's got a female boss. So, and she said, she's spoken away a couple of times about their drivers, only a couple of the drivers. And so anyway, so he leaves, and I'm back in the lorry now, and I've found down my window. And as he drives past me, like the little child that I am, I started doing a weird wave to him, going, goodbye, goodbye. He was not impressed. And I said to him, I will be less than an hour on that bay, and the total time I was on that bay, unloading and loading back up, was 45 minutes. So if he didn't waste then 20 minutes of him going in, he would have been back in there relatively quick. But yeah, that's how that's the sort of stuff we have to put up with. But it's I love it when somebody's equally as persistent as me when they're being told something, and then the manager properly backs you up. Because I can imagine at other stores the manager would have went, well, he's on the bay now. You know what I mean? But she just stuck to the guns. She stuck to the system and said, my driver comes in first. You have to wait. You're just a nobody to me. You know what I mean? Oh, fantastic. So the life of John and why he loves his job, because it's so funny.
I can hardly wait to drive around LA.
Well, Flint, I'll tell you, when I drove Flint and Marnie around, and we got to a junction,
A four-way stop, and he didn't stop. He went right through it.
No, I stopped initially, but I went out of turn apparently. But as far as I'm concerned, we English invented driving, so we can just do what we like.
Oh yeah, well, you invented the car.
You need roundabouts.
There are actually a lot of roundabouts in Arizona.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I saw one when I was looking at the Google map in Los Angeles. There was a roundabout which looked really weird with all the block system because it was near the coastline. It was sort of like Venice Beach, somewhere near there. But yeah, so we've just got to find out next week if I get the Rubicon Jeep again, because you put in for it. And then it goes in the thing, you might not get this when you get here. Well, when I get there and I've got these suitcases, I'll go, I need that beast. So you best fucking find one, hopefully, or something that's equivalent or bigger that I can get these suitcases in. Because I'm not traveling like me and Sam with our little suitcases. We've got those, but we've got the big one as well, you know what I mean? So
Your Cass, you probably only have one. You probably only have one small suitcase, and Cass is like 6 big ones. Like she's going
Yeah.
with Ferrari.
It's quite hilarious, right? Because up in Sam's bedroom, the suitcase is on his bed, and mine's open. And I just went in. I went into my cupboard and I went, 24 pants, they'll do me. 20 odd socks, they'll do me. So they're just in there. My 3 shoes are all lined up that I want to bring. And Cam was like, I don't know what dresses to bring. I said, well, just shove them all in there because we're allowed more weight on the way back because we're going upper class. So we're allowed an extra 10 kilograms. So I said, it doesn't matter what you put in going out there because you can buy some stuff as well. But I'm just like, no, fucking hell. So in my head, I'm just going, right, I've got all my shorts lined up.
When John says he's going back upper class, I think they're going to give him a top hat and a monocle and a fake moustache.
No.
Yeah.
See that shop that I put in the chat last night about the hat shop in Palm Springs?
Yeah.
There was a top hat in there and a bowler hat. Relatively cheap.
That's what I think of John when he says upper class. You mean first class?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's going
Yeah,
upper
we're gonna
class.
turn left.
Jolly good show, sir.
We're going to turn left on the way back, Mr. Ross, when we go into the plane.
Are you going to take Kaz to that mystery bookstore in Hollywood?
Well, we are going to go to your bookstore for definite.
Oh.
Yeah, because she wants to buy.
You have to ask for a copy of Mein Kampf.
That's what I'll be doing.
I'll see if we. You know what? I think they might have hid it behind the counter or something.
You actually have it.
There was something. Yeah, there was something. Back. Well,
That's fly fishing.
There was a time up until a few years ago where it was like.
Oh, John, and then when you get the copy, go complain to Rossy's manager that it's not signed by Trump.
Well, if you would ask for it now, they would just give you a copy of The Art of the Deal.
I would go, who's this on the front with his little tash? I thought he was supposed to have a big, quicky blonde hair.
Yes.
But now she wants to buy a book from one of your shops. So, but there's them ones that you mentioned that your place owns down in West Hollywood, isn't there?
Yeah. So when we were there with Sam, Book Soup, and then literally like
over the road, and you didn't even mention it.
Yeah, I did. It was.
You didn't mention that you owned them.
Well, I was too busy checking out Devo's recording studio, which is on the next block. So
I know it is.
It was
next to the Rocky and Bullwinkle statue that we took a picture of for Flint.
Yes, I'm wondering if what movie they're shilling now, because last time they had completely had that Mufasa movie poster like just completely papered over the whole building. Yeah, so it's Devo's recording studio, Book Soup, which we own, and then there's a little mystery bookstore. I think it's either on the same block or the next block.
It is, it's right next to it.
So then there's the Viper Room, and then there's all those other hippie places you wanted to go
Viper
to.
Room is the next block across.
So you're going to want to go to the Hustler store too?
The Hustler? Well, the pawn shop.
Yeah, the Hustler store.
Well, I'll tell you what store we are going to go to, just for pure picture comedy. If I probably won't. Let me just find it.
I already like it. Whatever it is, I already like it.
I'll tell you where it is. It's Weed Shop Hollywood.
Which one?
Well, it's the one. I'll tell you which one it is. It's called Weed Shop Hollywood, and it's right opposite the Four Ladies of Hollywood and the Elvis Presley Star.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'm sure it'll have a good frontage to. We'll probably have to smell it as well.
It's hard to say because I mean, it's funny because like when you said that, I was going to give you a chance to respond. And then I was going to say, well, up and down Hollywood Boulevard, literally like every other shop is a weed shop. And so for it to be the Four Ladies of Hollywood is pretty much where Hollywood Boulevard, the historical Hooray for Hollywood part of it ends. So for that weed shop to be there is like so appropriate. I can't even believe it. So
yes.
All right, you want to do
are you
adventures?
going to visit the L. Ron Hubbard people too, or
Why would you want to do that?
pick up a copy of Battlefield Earth?
What, the Manly book?
Yes. They'll charge you extra for your luggage because of the weight of it.
That's it.
Well,
All right.
do you want to do Adventures in Trump?
Go ahead.
Well,
It's
apparently,
your podcast.
Well, apparently, Trump was on an interview on MSNBC, one of the financial shows, and he said that he's going after the banks because the banks tried to debank him after January 6th. And these are banks that he'd been a customer of for like 30, 40 years. And he actually knows the bank owners and everything else. And they told him they couldn't do anything, that he needs to move his money. So he ended up going to smaller banks and spreading his money around a little bit more. But he wasn't the only one targeted. They targeted a lot of conservatives back then. And something similar happened in the UK with Farage, didn't it, John?
Oh, yeah, he was done, and he took them to court and everything. He won, and the boss of the bank, or like the top manager, was basically retired. And he only found out because something was said in a I think this is correct. Something was said in a meeting, and he found out about it. So then he knew factually that that's what had happened. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm sure that's how he found out. And then apparently it happens to loads of people, but they just don't know.
Well, the weird thing about the Trump one is that he actually knew the people involved, like the bank managers, or the people who own the banks, because he's known them for years. And apparently, he said there's two things that people who own banks are afraid of. Number one, their wives, and number two, regulators, because the Biden administration threatened to send in government regulators, and that it caused all kinds of chaos for the business and everything else. So it's amazing the amount of shit they tried to do to pull on him. And other conservatives as well. They were they were basically hunting conservatives, hunting Republicans. So now everything's changed, and the hunter has become the hunted, despised. He shall create the race of Superman.
The thing is, when the people who detest him go, ha 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 ha, one day it might be the other way around, and you're on the receiving end. This stuff should not be happening.
Well, that's basically what's happening now, is that they Gabbard had released tons of information, so did the head of the CIA, Radcliffe, that Obama and his cronies tried to stitch up Trump before the election. They knew that there was no Russian interference, but they lied about it and doctored reports and everything else and twisted it to make it look as if there was a Russian influence to get Trump elected, when it was actually the opposite. They had dirt on Hillary. They had nothing. The Russians had dirt on Hillary. They had nothing on Trump. And they had no preference of a candidate. All they wanted to do was sow some kind of confusion in the election. They weren't for Trump or against Trump. Or they weren't for Hillary or against Hillary. So the whole Russia hoax stitch-up job based on the Steele dossier. And then, they went after the Democrats went after a former president, which you don't do. You just don't do. And Trump dodged all their bullets, literally and figuratively. And now they open that door. I said it way back then that what they did was a very dangerous thing, because going after an ex-president, the things change, and you could be next in line. And they can go after Obama. And even though the president has immunity, presidential immunity, He has presidential immunity when he was president, and these actions were taken when Obama was president. So what they can do is you can still impeach a former president because they did that with Trump after he left office, right? So you can impeach Barack Obama, and if he gets impeached, he will be stripped of his presidential immunity and he can go to jail. But I don't think they'll do that. I think what they'll do is they'll start off with low-hanging fruit. They'll go after Clapper, Brennan, Rice, Clinton herself. They'll go after those and build it up to that if they wanted to go after Obama. But I don't think they'll go after Obama. But there will be consequences for what they did. And they started it. If they hadn't did this shit way back when and used all kinds of lawfare against Trump and his allies, this wouldn't be happening today. When Trump became president in 2016, and his thing was lock her up about Hillary, he decided not to because it sets a bad precedent. And when the Democrats got in, they didn't give a fuck. They used everything possible. So now they've only got themselves to blame. They always do the stupidest shit. Always.
Yep.
So anyway, that's Adventures in Trump Land, par for that. And he said he's going to put nuclear missiles in the White House, which he said jokingly.
Excellent.
But people are going to twist that and say, "Oh, he's mad."
Oh God,
Yeah.
The gullible, sad people believe that instantly. They'll be poor soul of Facebook, and you just think, and you're allowed to be able to breathe still.
All right, Rossy, Kickstarter's corner. You got anything?
Let's see. Do I even? Still haven't received my copy of Black Creek, even though it's on Amazon for everybody else to see. That fellow who died, the producer who died, that made the low-budget sci-fi movie. Someone in there's a Facebook group dedicated to them, not just because he died. It was started long before. In fact, the group was more like him shilling some new tiers for his, like almost every day he had like new tiers to get backing for the movies he was making. That slowed down a lot since he passed away, but somebody posted and said, "Hey, I've seen a screener copy of one of them," but I forgot the name of the one that I backed, but it feels like this is not that. So I don't know how many are still out there in some form of production. They said that they're going to finish all of them, in his honor, blah, blah, blah. Haven't seen or heard anything about that. That Amazon woman pulp magazine that like every 3 months I get an update saying, "Hey, it's being fulfilled. Be patient." For 3 goddamn years now. Well, it's been like 2 months now, and I still, when he was like, "Hey, this is the one, this is the real one, you be getting your book, by God." No. The Green Ranger movie, Legend of the White Dragon, or whatever that was, people are saying, like, you know what? It doesn't take that long to color correct the movie, and you keep having to reshoot scenes supposedly because the guy died, and you're trying to shoot around it now, blah, blah, blah. But somehow you were able to buy $100,000 house. Where's the movie? So that one.
Do you back every single Kickstarter on the planet?
No, this is just over the course of years because some of these are sitting out there that long. These are some of these are like the worst culprits. And then the Dirty Pair anime series that they remastered, and they were going to redo all the dubbing and redo all the subtitling and that still hasn't materialized. Apparently, the company that was doing them, that was another one. Like some of these, like that started during COVID or during the lockdowns, it was like, I get it. It's like it's hard to get the voice actors to come in and, do the thing, blah, 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 because people were really scared during that time. I get it. But then, like, now it's been a couple of years since Joe Biden declared that the that it was over. So okay, and a lot of it was already done. What could be done or supposedly had already been done according to the updates. So I still haven't seen the Dirty Pair series. And then I found out, not from anything they sent me, that the company had been absorbed by Crunchyroll, which is like one of the biggest anime distributors. But they also don't have the world's greatest reputation amongst some of the anime fans. Now, when you're that big, and anime fans are pretty easily disgruntled, so I don't know how big of a chunk of salt to take that with, but enough time has passed for them to get absorbed by a bigger company. And also, this is going to be, Crunchyroll does all the hip, cool stuff that's down with the kids. And this is an old anime that, even though it was very successful for the Kickstarter, it's been so long, I imagine all of that money's got to be gone by now. That money has to be spent. So, I would imagine also that this is going to be like a real low priority project for them going forward. So will I see it? Gosh, I hope so, because I accidentally lent the DVD that I had of the TV series to somebody and never got it back. So I'm kind of counting on getting the Blu-ray, because it's a piggy in the middle. The DVD now costs so much money to replace, and I've already spent the money for this Blu-ray that should be the better version anyway, and now I got nothing. So, having said all of those things, and I still haven't heard anything about the Mexican artist who did the Lucha Libre paintings. Haven't seen or heard anything from that. And on the other hand, I did get my digital copy of the 77 number 11, 711. Haven't had a chance to read it. They also, and because they're very conscientious, they were not happy with the original digital copy and sent like a better digital copy. My paper copy of it is in the mail. They have a new one, which I did back, but I only got the digital copy. The new V by Steve Bull. Looks good. But I just can't, literally the shipping costs as much as the comic, and I just can't keep doing that. So I'll get the digital copy, and then there was another one that they're doing. Uncle Pat's American Reaper. I signed up to be notified when that gets activated, so you should all do that now. I said a long time ago I got the Andrew Sawyer's book. Not really a Kickstarter thing, but David Broughton's got a sale going on for Shaman Kane. You can get the whole shebang for 50% off. You put out a mailer to remind people to get White Heat comics off of Amazon. All three of them are available worldwide. So if you have Prime, you don't have to pay the insane Kickstarter shipping costs. And you pretty much get the same book. Ben Dunn's Kendra. I just got the digital copy of Vampire Ono from Ben Dunn, so he's always good for fulfilling things. How
is this Kendra book doing?
Good. I think he's got I know he turned in number 2. And I'm not sure where he is with number 3. So it's supposed to be a 3-issue thing. Hopefully number 2 comes out in time for the weekend of excitement that the Red Sonja movie is going to generate.
the day of excitement.
Well, I mean, it is a day of excitement because it's only going to be playing theatrically for a day out here. But if it turns out to be better than it looks by the trailer, maybe there'll be a weekend of excitement. Then it's going to end up in Prime. I mean, so here's the story. Don't judge me. Now, having heard how much money I put out there in the world for Kickstarters, and there's still a couple of them out there that I've forgotten about or are so far like probably never going to see the light of day that I'm not even mentioning them anymore. So I backed the Black Creek one in good faith, and I wanted to get the script. I wanted to get the at least a digital copy of the movie. I think they were going to give you like a movie poster, which I think is actually digital. It's the same image you can steal off the internet for free practically everywhere. You know what, Flint? I haven't even checked the web. Maybe you're supposed to check in with the Black Creek website to get all of these things. So anyway, they held all of that stuff back because they thought Black Creek was going to get a theatrical release, and they also wanted to discourage piracy. So I was like, fair enough. So Black Creek did play at a few festivals and a few events, and now it's available on Prime, but it's not the Prime package that you get, as part of free with Prime. You have to pay for it. It's like $5. And I'm like, well, I've already paid for it. I don't want to pay another $5 to see something I've already backed. And frankly, going by the trailer, I'll probably watch maybe twice. I'll watch twice if it's better than what the trailer looks like. Okay. So, it's been on there for a few weeks now. The week it went on Prime, I checked some of the Sailing the High Seas sites to see if it was there. It was not. It's been 2 or 3 weeks now, and I rechecked the same sites. It's still not there. So this thing isn't even worth pirating, apparently. So I'm like, oh boy. Or they're very diligent in having it stricken from the pirate sites like the minute it pops up. I don't know which. So yeah, anyway, but I figured like, well, I'll pirate it, but I've already paid for it. So it's, whether I see it now or whether I see it when I get my legitimate digital copy, I don't see how it matters. I did pay. I mean, it wasn't just the price of the movie. It was like, and here's a little something extra to get your movie made kind of price, because there's no way it costs another $20 to get the digital copy of the screenplay. So it was that kind of a deal. I went in knowing, in good faith, knowing all of that. So we'll see. But with the Kickstarter stuff, I've whittled my list down to a very short list of people that I'm going to back on Kickstarter. And, the 77 will forever be one of them. Ben will forever be one of them. But even then, it's going to have to be like the digital copy. I might keep backing the paper copies of the regular 77 comics just to keep the collection going. But the special edition stuff, it's like it if I was paying like UK shipping, if I was living in the UK and only had to pay those kind of shipping costs, or if there was a way to get them out here. I mean, they've got a deal going with, before Diamond went bankrupt, they had a deal with Diamond, so I could probably get them through the comic stores, but I also don't want to wait that long. So, but now that Diamond's gone, I don't know if they kept with them, or maybe they have a Diamond UK thing going. I don't know. So, anyway, I think that's Kickstarter Corner, boring as it is. Not a lot of movement, which is...
Yeah, I'm still waiting on 2 items to come in. There's a Atari book by John M. Burns, and a Rizzo book. I think the Rizzo book is currently being printed at the moment, so waiting on those guys. But that's it for me. Kickstarter. Uncle Pat's American Reaper looks good, but I think it's 96 pages, hardcover.
Yeah, he's big on that
European album look.
That Band-Aid Dessiné thing.
Yeah, I might shoot him an email and see will he come back on the show and promote it. So it's got Faye Dalton's artwork in there, so it's good.
Oh man, that was that was the one that got away.
Yeah, and I've been working on White Heat 4 at the moment, doing some thumbnail stuff on it. And Thugs. I'm going to have to sit down and work out Thugs again and figure that out and have a second shot at that one. It's a shame to see that one go to waste. So that's it for that Kickstarter Corner. Do you want to do movies and TV? All right, I'll start with Fantastic Four. Do you guys want spoilers or non-spoilers?
Don't spoil it. I already know.
Sam and he's seen it.
Okay. I liked it. I went to see it. I liked it. I love the whole '60s look of it, the alternate '60s look, set in a parallel universe, parallel Earth. But having said that, it's very slow moving, except at the last act it kind of speeds up a bit with action. And there's a couple of plot convenience theater moments in it that would never happen in real life. Sue Storm is pregnant. At the start of the movie, you find out she's pregnant. They've been trying to have a kid for years, and she does the whole test, and yep, pregnant. And then when Galactus the Herald arrives, they decide to meet the threat face on instead of letting Galactus come to Earth. So they go out to see the spaceship and whatever where Galactus is coming from. Do you hear that dog? Come here.
Yeah.
Come here. Come here.
But that's
Hold
part
on
of
for
the
a sec.
charm.
Come here. Come here. Come on. There. All right. He's up on my lap now.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
yeah, he's been having a tough time since the other two are gone. He's moping around the house. So, yeah, so she's pregnant, and they go off into space to confront Galactus. Now, what's one thing that they tell you that pregnant women can't do or shouldn't do because it endangers their kids? Right. She goes into fucking outer space. Right? So imagine the G-force and everything else, the effect on the kid.
Yeah,
but they had to do that because that's an important plot point. When Galactus does a scan and finds out that Franklin Richards, the baby, is something special. It's got the power cosmic. Right? So that's when Galactus bargains, hey, I'll leave your planet alone if you give me the kid. Because the kid is Galactus' salvation. It's like, I don't know if he's going to eat the kid or groom the kid to take over from him, but it's like, it's a real, get in my belly. Like my baby back ribs. One of those moments. But the whole scene just existed so that he could scan and see that she's holding this special baby. The relationship between
Galactus is Scottish.
Yeah, so that the relationship between the Thing and Johnny Storm, it's friendly. It's not like they're not ribbing each other or playing pranks on each other, which is what you expect. It's very, very boring. I mean, the whole movie visually it looks exciting, but it's very boring. You'll enjoy watching it, but I don't think you'll go rewatch it again. I think also part of the reason it didn't do well the second week, it dropped 60%, is Pedro Pascal. I think not just me, but people are sick and tired of seeing him in everything, and also because of the touchy-feely shit he's been doing with his co-stars kind of came out around the same time. So that didn't go down well because we see, and the trailer wasn't good. The trailer for the Fantastic Four was not good. Like myself and Marty watched the trailer. And Marty goes, "I don't want to go see that." And the only reason I went to see it is because my grandkid was out and he wanted to see it. Other than that, I think a lot of people are waiting for it to show up in Disney Plus. So that could account for a huge drop off in the box office. But it's probably the closest to the Fantastic Four you see on screen. But it is kind of a little bit disjointed a bit. It was fun, but I thought Superman was a better movie. So even though that was probably the best you're going to see of the Fantastic Four on screen, the end credit shows Sue reading a kid's book to Franklin, and then she goes to get his favorite book to read, and when she comes back, Dr. Doom is kneeling down, and Franklin Richards is touching his face. Like his mask is off and Franklin Richards touching his face, although you don't see Doom's face. So that was the end credit scene, and then there's an animated end credit at the very, very end of the credits. There's an animated series of the Fantastic Four as if it was done in the '60s. So that was like a nice little intro. Yeah, overall
So
it was decent, but I wait to see it on Disney Plus.
okay, this was the that was the tribute to Jack Kirby that I kept hearing about.
Oh no, they
The
had
animated.
a quote from Kirby at the end, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. It was great because it wasn't Stan fucking Lee. And also when Galactus is walking through New York, they have a scene of Kirby and Lee looking out the window, wondering what the hell is
Mm-hmm.
that, and you can see the artwork for the Fantastic Four on his desk, on his drawing desk. That he's creating a comic book of the Fantastic Four's adventures. So that was good. Mole Man was really good. Mole Man was funny, but my
Okay.
my problem with Mole Man is they didn't make him look like the comic book version. He was just a fat guy
Oh,
with a visor.
you
You
just
know,
know he's Mole Man.
but he was pretty funny in it. But yeah, I think it's, and there's lots of comic book references. They reference the Puppet Master and all these different Fantastic Four villains.
Yeah.
Because in this version of Fantastic Four, they've been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There is another stupid thing as well. At the end of the movie, they
You're really selling it.
their watch goes off for an alert. There's some danger going on, so
Mm-hmm.
they grab Franklin and his baby carrier, and they trying to fit him into the Fantastic car. They can't figure out how to get the seat in, buckle the seat in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was funny, but why would you bring a baby on a dangerous mission with you when an alert goes off? So there's like idiot logic like that in the show, but overall it was okay. I'd give it like probably a 3.5 out of 5.
Mm.
Well, Superman would give a 4. I'd give a full 4 out of 5.
Okay.
So, but it's good that those.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great that we live in a time where we see Superman robots, we see Crypto, the super dog, we see Supergirl all in on this one screen with Superman. That we see the actual Fantastic Galactus instead of a fucking space cloud.
Right.
So it's great that we see all those things today. That was something you could never envision 10, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was stuff in the original run up to Endgame that I was like, I can't believe I'm living in a time when I'm seeing even the Avengers all assembled. But
And they didn't look like the 1970s Trial of the Incredible Hulk Avengers.
right.
Or Captain America with his motorbike helmet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, even the variant, the upgrades to the costumes where they try to make them look more utilitarian than a costume.
There is a funny
Um,
moment. There is a funny moment in Fantastic Four where they're speaking to the United Nations. It looks like about a future foundation, and they scan
mhm.
they scan all the countries. And Latveria, their desk is empty. Their seat is empty. There's nobody there. Like it's like a fuck
Oh,
you Fantastic Four kind of thing.
yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Mm. That's because Doctor Doom's pedophile friend had video footage of Mr. Fantastic
On Epstein Island.
compromising position. Yeah. um, so anyway, it's yeah, it's fine. There's so much of it now. I guess
I think
it's
you know what it is, Rossy. I think the retro advertising kind of hurt it.
so I
Because kids
so I
don't get it. Kids won't get it. I mean, we'll get it because it's set in the 60s. So when you go watch the movie, it's cool all the stuff they do in the 60s, like the 60s look and feel of the. It's kind of like a futuristic 60s because there's cars that go around that don't look like cars today. And even the way they do the television, like the talk shows and stuff like that, like it has a real 60s look to it. But I think the mistake was when they start advertising the movie like a 60s, like it's set in it is set in the 60s, but they started that 60s look for the advertisements and for the commercials and ads that you see, the print ads. I think that kids today are looking at that and go, what? Yeah,
so
I don't think they
here's
appreciate it.
yeah, well, probably not. And here's some questions I have. So what was the last? I know video games, okay, but it's unfair of me to take the video games off the table. But let's take the video games off the table. What thing would kids know the Fantastic Four from? What decade was the last Fantastic Four cartoon? Or anything that kids would recognize the Fantastic
2000, I
Four
think
from?
probably 2006 or 7.
Okay, so like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Was
they
like
had
the
they
last.
had a they had a kind of French cartoon, like there was a
Right,
French American production.
right. And they made a big deal about Herbie on the thing. Herbie was like our generation, and none of us liked Herbie because it was a replacement for the Human Torch. So, because we wanted to see the fucking Human Torch,
Well, it made
not
sense.
some comic
Yeah,
relief
but
robot.
it made Herbie actually fit right in. It made sense to Herbie in this world, helping
Yes,
out
I know, but
because he had because Pedro Pascal would pull out these data discs and slip them inside his head to do his duties and stuff. So it made sense.
well, I'm not saying like Herbie in the movie. I'm talking about like what was in the trailer, what they made a big
Yeah,
fucking deal about in the trailer that's supposed to get kids excited about this movie. So you got Ben Grimm cooking, you got Herbie the robot from a TV series that even the Gen Xers that grew up with it didn't like, and then there was really no action to speak of. It was just kind of like, ooh, look at this neat thing, ooh, look at that neat thing. At least in the Thunderbolts trailer, they had that exploding flipping car, and a guinea pig, and an exploding building. So that's three things that I would have paid money to see.
I think
But
actually there might be a guinea pig in the Fantastic Four.
oh, really?
When they go to a restaurant,
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think it's one of Franklin's. Like I think she said something about feeding the. It might have been a guinea pig or a hamster.
eating the guinea pig.
God, you can't tell them apart. Maybe they'll feeding it to who, John?
Yeah,
Yeah,
feeding it to German or Dutch zoos.
See,
that's it.
now I really have to see it because so I told you about the t-shirt, my bad idea t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
For Antarctic Press. For those of you who didn't listen or didn't care, we were at a Zoom meeting and they were, spitballing ideas for t-shirts because those do better than the comic books a lot of times. And they were like, "Oh, what's coming up? What's the new Marvel thing? What's going to be the new meme?" And so they said,
They
Thunderbolts
tried to
coming.
make it. They tried to make it a meme and it fell flat on its face.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, what's the new thing? Is the Thunderbolts is coming. Oh yeah, at the end, one of them had seen it, and they were like, oh yeah, at the end of it says Thunderbolts asterisk and Bob will return. So they were kind of guessing like people will be doing like whatever and Bob will return. So I said, why don't you do guinea pig and Bob will return? And they're like, ah ha ha ha. So they did it, took it to Comic-Con, and I was there Sunday, the last day, and they said, hey, how many did you sell? None. And I said, okay, well, you sold one. So I bought one for myself. And then they've been to at least one other convention since then. And they said, hey, how many did you sell? None. So I've got the one. So I wore it on the Zoom call, and I was like, I hear this is an extremely rare, one-of-a-kind item. So I said, however, having said all that, you could still salvage this whole thing, this debacle that I caused, because there was a hoarder who had 400 guinea pigs, and the Los Angeles, it was around here, and so the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue mobilized and saved them, and then in the process of processing them and trying to take care of all, because some of them were in pretty bad shape, and the girls were pregnant, blah, blah, blah. So I said, you could send them the T-shirts that you printed as a charitable write-off, and then they could use them for fundraisers or, however they're going to use them. So they could use your help, and so that way you don't have to worry about Marvel coming down on you too. So anyway, they laughed at that, but didn't. I don't think they're going to do it. It's too much trouble. And they didn't lose that much off of it, I guess. So that's it.
That's it.
Did you see any movies, John?
I did indeed.
Hey, what did you see?
I watched James Gunn's Superman by James Gunn.
Oh, as the drinker calls, or as Film Threat calls it. What did you think?
It bored me.
Really?
It was just not what I wanted. I thought is it Mr. Fantastic, Eddie Gathegi? I thought he was the best thing out of it. I just loved his the way he was doing his stuff. Anyway, 2 hours, 9 minutes, 2025, 12A rated, a 7.5 in IMDb, starring David Corn Swade, Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan, Eddie Guthrie, Nathan Fillion, etc. I just thought the story was boring, illogical. You know what I mean? The stuff when the creature came from the id, from the other dimension, and I said this before when I saw the trailer. He catches its foot when it's coming down towards the dog, and it doesn't like envelop him. It's like it's metal. The whole foot stops. You know, even your foot would go around something that was on the floor. Like say an ant was under your foot, it wouldn't be able to keep you off the ground. And all the people were ridiculous, weren't they? They're all there, stood there taking pictures, looking up. There's a monster.
Oh, that's what would really happen if something like that happened. The people would be there taking pictures. You see people standing on the edge of the beach when a fucking tidal wave's going to hit and swallow them up, and they're there with their phones taking pictures of it.
Yeah, I thought Colin Sweat he played Superman very good. Nicholas Hoult was hilarious. But like I say, was it Mr. Fantastic, the person I'm on about, the black gentleman, Eddie
Mr.
Gathegi?
Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, yeah. I thought he was, like I said, he was the best thing. He was just hilarious. But I just thought there was too many sort of like...
there was too much stuff going on in it.
Yeah. It should have just been an A.
Yeah, I would have got rid of the whole sequence with the baby going down the river, lava river thing, the data stream, whatever.
Yeah.
I would have got rid of that completely.
Yeah.
But the Hawk Girl was a waste of time.
Yeah, she did one thing at the end, didn't she? And I can't remember what
she dropped. The bad guy.
Yeah.
She dropped the leader of the Pakistan, whatever, off. She killed him. She killed him.
But it was like that scene when Superman gets his power and he fights all those robot-y things. That was just like, well, that was a waste of time, because it was the equivalent of when they came into his Fortress of Solitude and destroyed his robots, but he was just like spinning them around, smashing them about. It was like, you might as well just delete that whole sequence. It did nothing visually. To me, it reminded me of that terrible scene in I think it was the third Matrix, where he fights 1,000...
Mr. Smits.
Yeah.
Agent
Smits.
Smits.
Like, oh, dear me, that wasn't good. I still prefer the dark and gritty, because the amount of damage that was caused in the city, and there was like no repercussions truly for the destruction.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with all superhero movies. Like, even if you look at the Fantastic Four, Galactus more or less destroys New York, but they evacuate people into Moleman's place, Subterranea. That's where they evacuate people. But there's going to be people that stayed behind. Yeah. I'm not moving. And that's the problem with superhero movies completely. At least with Man of Steel, they showed people getting buildings falling on people and you can't save them.
Yeah. It's like when those buildings started toppling and he grabbed one before it crushed the woman in the car I think she was in.
Yeah.
And I was laughing. I was going, buildings aren't built like that. And I know it's comic stuff, but you've got to have real world stuff. You know what I mean? If you're going to have him doing all this stuff, fair. But buildings are not the structure. It would have collapsed around him. You know, like on the first reboot of Superman, where he stops the plane on the baseball pitch. All the seats were flicking forward and all this sort of stuff. I was just laughing at that. It was very well done, and I enjoyed the scene. It's one of the scenes that I watched a few times, where he flies around, pulls the wing and all that sort of stuff. but with this, it was like all the major action sequences didn't work for me. You know what I mean? But
I also thought, when you saw his parents, did you think that they looked like his granny and grandfather?
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're right there. Because to me, he looks about 22, 23, and they look about fucking 60-odd.
Yeah, they look too old. But there was a funny bit where Ma Kent is talking into the phone. She keeps on repeating herself. That's what old people do. There were some nice touches, but I think they got the character of Superman perfect. His character himself.
Oh yeah, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
he was brilliant.
Yeah,
but through the film, only the one person did it for me. So
well, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is pretty good. I did like that he was so petty that he put his ex-girlfriend in that pocket dimension.
My favourite bit was I mentioned that I'd seen a scene of it was where Superman comes in, does the damage like he did on the first Superman film, and he talks into his cup, doesn't he? Oh,
yeah.
The dog in the red cave. Hey, what did you say?
Tease him. And the bit at the end where Crypto grabs Lex Luthor and tosses him around the place like a rag doll. That was funny, but that reminded me of the end of Avengers when the Hulk grabs Loki and bashes him. Yeah, there was stuff like that was very similar or familiar.
And didn't they cut a scene where the dog got beaten up quite badly? Because when I was watching it, I went, "Well," because one of the characters flicks it across. I think it was the female on the baddies flicks it across and it smashes against the wall or something. And I'm thinking, "Oh, is that the scene that they said they didn't have?" But I'm sure there was.
Yeah, you can't show that. You can't show that for kids.
Yeah.
Although they did have Crypto chase all those squirrels, which is really funny. Nicholas Hoult had them, and yeah, that was funny. That was a funny moment. And also when they go into the pocket universe, all the monkeys typing away in a typewriter.
Yeah.
There were some funny moments in it, but I think with the second one, now that he's established Superman, the second one might be better. I did like that Superman can't save everybody or everything. That's why they sent Guy Gardner to stop the war from breaking out, because Superman couldn't be there at the same time. So there was nice touches like that, but overall, yeah, I mean, some of those sequences should have been cut or taken out completely.
The sad thing I feel with the films nowadays, especially like the major sort of like potential blockbusters, is we find out they've cut out a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to wait to see what it really was supposed to look like when it comes out on DVD or streaming or whatever.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
Yes, I know, because I just think to myself, some films that I like being 3 hours plus, I know it's to make money in the cinema. If you can get 5 showings a day rather than 4, potentially you're going to get more money. So they cut things down. But I'm just like, I want to see what the actual director intended. And if the scene, because the problem is, sometimes you're like, where's the build-up to that? That doesn't make sense. The build-up's on the cutting room floor, or the director's cut. And I'm like, I want to see what was supposed to give
the only movie where a director's cut made sense was Blade Runner. Everything after that was all bullshit. And because Blade Runner, the director's cut made a shitload of money, they all jumped on the bandwagon. Even James Cameron, when they did the Titanic and stuff, and they were coming, or Aliens, and they're coming out with director's cut. He said there's a reason that there's the first 20 minutes where he shows the colonists. He said there's a reason that ended up on the cutting room floor. I didn't want it back in the movie, but the studio put it back in.
Yeah.
Well, I thought his that cut of The Abyss was like, that's pretty much the only version that there ever should have been. And even as much as I hate that, the thing that pissed me off, the one that pissed me off the most was Batman versus Superman, because they should only have
Justice League should have pissed you off, because Justice League was a completely different movie than Zack Snyder wanted, because Joss Whedon took it over.
Right. Well, I didn't see the longer, but again,
you haven't seen the Snyder cut of that?
No, because fuck you. The whole thing is
it's a completely different movie.
Yeah, they can
even the end of it is completely different.
Yeah, I would not pay to see. I might see it someday, but I would never pay to see that, because fuck you. This new thing of we're going to release this half-baked version.
But listen, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you to watch just from a movie-making point of view, to see what bad decisions Joss Whedon made. For example, he has Superman. I think he has Superman get rid of Wolfenstein, whatever his name is, the bad guy. In the Zack Snyder version, it's Wonder Woman that chops off his head. But it made more sense for Wonder Woman to be the one to do it, because she's a goddess, while Superman is just an alien from another planet. It made more sense
Right.
for Wonder Woman to do it. So there's decisions like that are made in the Snyder one that the decisions that Whedon made were all bad decisions. He even put in an Avengers joke in the movie as well, where the Flash falls on top of Wonder Woman, falls on top of her chest, and makes a crude remark. That was used in the Avengers as well. That was used in the Avengers as well. That's nowhere in the Snyder version. So it's good if you're interested in filmmaking to see what decisions were made and what are bad decisions in the Whedon one. So it is a completely different movie, Rossy.
Yeah. Well, fuck you because fuck them because like that whole business of, well, here's your piece of shit movie that you're paying to see, and
Well,
if
they
you
didn't
want to see
release.
the
Well, the thing
better-
is, they didn't release the Snyder version in the movie theaters. That was just on HBO.
right, and they made that into a whole stupid politicized thing too.
Yeah.
There's even it would have had to have been like the greatest superhero movie made of all time to justify all the bullshit that went around it. But to take the next step down would be the Batman versus Superman, which was like, we got basically a shortened trailer version for exactly reasons like you said. Well, in the theaters they get more screenings if it's shorter. It was nonsensical and stupid. And then it's like, but if you want to see the good one, you can pay $20 and see the streaming version on your iTunes, Apple iTunes, which is exactly what we did because my mom never got a chance to see it in the theater. So it's like, okay, well, we'll pay to see that. And that was like the real movie. That was a pretty good regular real movie. That was the only version they should have ever released. And now they finger quotes learned that you can double dip by releasing the shitty version in the theaters.
Oh, they've been doing that since Blade Runner.
Well,
Blade Runner is the one that started all that.
Yeah, probably. But I've seen like two of the 6 versions of Blade Runner that are out there, and it's frankly I still prefer the one with narration. I don't see how.
Oh, that's like, terrible.
I don't. I know, but I don't care. I think
you only like the one with the voiceover because he's racist in it. Because he says one of the lines in that movie is like, back in the day I would have called a black guy something like that. There's a line similar to that in that voiceover.
Well,
that's what you like, Rossy.
Also, it's a slow-ass movie, no matter how you slice it. But the narration, at least,
but it's one of those movies that I think the director's cut Blade Runner without the voiceover. That really, it's immersive. The world is immersive in it. It's not like it's not boring for boring's sake. It's very immersive. He wants to show you this world, and that's what Ridley Scott wanted. Ridley Scott hated the voiceover version. The studio made him do the voiceover version. He hated it. So what you see is what you get with the director's cut, the way he originally intended it to be.
Yeah. Well, still, the difference is Blade Runner's kind of, no matter how you slice it, Blade Runner's kind of a classy movie, and they were still kind of feeling, it was very early, like in the modern era of sci-fi movies, and they were still kind of like feeling their way on how to present.
Well, there was nothing like it at the time. It's like Star Wars. It's like when Star Wars came out, there was nothing like it at the time. But the difference, I think, is when you're talking about money grabs, the Ridley Scott one, that's the way he wanted the movie to be. The Aliens extended version wasn't what Cameron wanted. That's what the studio wanted. Right? And it's the same with Man of Steel or Batman, Superman. That's what the studio wanted. That's not what the director wanted. And the same with Justice League. That's when studios interfere, not so much what the director wanted. I think there's a difference between the two.
I think my argument is not so much that there's.
No, you hate the double dipping.
Well, no, it's the double dipping that they would knowingly release an inferior version first.
Yeah.
While keeping the good version in their back pocket to try to resell it to you.
Yeah.
Like with the Blues Brothers, for example, the version you always should have ever seen was what you saw in the theater. And as a fan of the movie that would just wanted more,
What
it's like,
extended scenes did he add? Because I seen the extended scene version. Was that when he's talking to the car? Is that one of the extended?
there's a the musical numbers are longer. Driving through when they're driving through the black swap meet to get to Aretha Franklin's diner.
Yeah, because I
That's
have
a lot
both. I have
longer.
both. I know that he talks to the car because I think in Dan Aykroyd's original screenplay that the car had a soul of its own.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that's in the novelization too.
Well,
There's a bit when he's parking the car, and there's a bit where he's either getting fired from or um, he's talking to his boss at the glue factory, and I think he
yes,
doesn't.
that's an extended scene, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I think he's not wearing his sunglasses. Um, so there's little bits and pieces here and there. Honestly they don't.
They don't
I
need
mean,
it.
well, it's like the special editions of Star Wars. There's parts of them that I think do make things better, and there's parts of them that don't. So the trade-off is: do I get more of the musical numbers that I like? Yes. Does it hurt my enjoyment of the actual
No,
director's cut, which is the one that almost everybody has seen? You know, anybody who likes that movie, that's the version they've seen. Cool. So I'm the real fan for having seen the extra shit. That kind of stuff is fine. Same thing with Alien. It's like or Aliens. It's like, okay, so most people have just seen the regular theatrical version, and then the real dorks can watch the longer version and see the
the longer version
backstory.
doesn't need to exist though.
The longer version's a little bit boring, but it's like if you want to see more aliens that you haven't seen 20 times when you saw the shorter version, there it is for you.
Yeah,
It's there for you if you want. But like for Batman versus Superman, it's like that first cut was not even like a professional movie. It was stupid. And then like, oh, we've kept the good version that's like a real movie that makes sense in our back pocket, and now you can. It's kind of like
I think
they
the
didn't
problem with
have.
those movies is they try to cram so much in because they were playing catch up to Marvel. Because Batman
It
should have had his own had his own standalone Ben Affleck movie, and it didn't happen because they went, oh no, let's just put two together because we need it
yeah
because
they
Marvel was
run
so
they
far ahead.
rushed yeah they rushed that whole DC thing, and again this is like the fifth, at least the fifth Batman movie and maybe the fifth or sixth Superman movie, and it's like you guys still don't know how to make a fucking movie with Batman or Superman in
Well,
it. I mean,
they did
Jesus
know how to make
Christ
it.
already.
They did make know how to make a movie with Superman. It was the one released by James Gunn.
Yeah, but at that time and the James Gunn one is like the how many Superman movies that doesn't even include for both of them a pretty
But
good animated series that kids
the
liked.
reason they keep on releasing these is because their characters that the marketing comes in built with a lot of them. Everybody
Right,
knows
I
who
understand.
Superman is. Everybody knows who Spider Man is. So you can promote it, but you don't have to promote it that much because everybody knows.
Right, but then
I mean, how
but
many Spider Man movies are there?
oh, there's like 9 or 10 of them now.
Yeah.
But with the Spider-Man movies, like the first two that what's his face made were pretty good, and then the first one, the Andrew Garland movies, the first one was okay-ish, and then the first of the Holland ones, it's like if that's the direction they want to take, that was fine, and then they just like tripped and fell on their faces the third of
Yeah, that's because they turned him into Iron Man.
the third of the Raimi movies they completely fell on their
Yeah, oh, yeah.
flat on their face with.
The Venom
The
one.
second of the second of the Andrew Garland movie, or that's not Andrew Garland. What's the guy's name? Andrew Garland's the Dread guy. Anyway, the second.
Alex Garland,
Alex
Okay.
Garland's Dread Guy.
Andrew
Oh,
Garfield,
the
Andrew
other English guy
Heathcliff.
okay, the middle English guy who played Spider-Man.
Garfield.
That guy, the second movie they made with him, it's like how do you make a second Spider-Man movie and take all of the wrong lessons you learned from the third Batman movie and put that into there? What kind of dope does that shit. So it's like they act like complete idiots when it comes to these movies, and then meanwhile, like low key, these cartoons come along. The Batman animated series, like, well, why don't you take some cues from that? Nope, it's a cartoon, totally different thing. It's like, but it's the storytelling and some of the elements.
Oh, all you have to do is that the best Batman since the Batman animated series has actually been the Batman Arkham Asylum games.
There you go. There's been video games that have been better than these movies.
Oh, if those video games were made into movies, they'd be blockbusters.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Superman cartoon. I don't like Superman enough to watch a whole cartoon series about him, but from what I've heard of people who like Superman, it's like almost as good as the Batman animated series was for Superman.
Yeah,
it's like
it is.
Yeah,
so it's the only cartoon that had apart from Brave Star, it's the only cartoon that has a death in it as well. You actually see someone die on the screen, get zapped.
Wow.
Yeah, dang. It was Darkseid. Darkseid kills Kirby's character. The guy that looks like Jack Kirby.
So I mean, templates for a good version of all of that stuff exist.
Yeah,
you don't have to like draw it out of the ether or whatever, or experiment with it. So like with Blade Runner, it's like, okay, I get that they're kind of like fishing around and experimenting, and Aliens is kind of like, people have already seen Aliens, the original Aliens, like 20 times, and it's kind of like running out of steam. It's like, well, we'll give you a shot in the arm with some more footage, and maybe it's not the best footage ever, but it's more, and it's like, cool, I'll take it, fine. But to release incompetent versions of your movie on purpose with the promise of the real version coming out the back end is just like, God damn you guys. That to me feels like that justifies all of the sailing the high seas, for any Warner Brothers movie in the future.
I think that's why the box office dropped for Fantastic Four, because people are waiting for it to come, to be released on streaming, or they could sail the high seas for it. I think streaming completely changed the movie industry.
It changed the way people wait for movies and watch. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are people who didn't go see the Mission Impossible movies because they know that it's actually like I said about the Marvel stuff. People went back to, as each new Marvel movie came out, people went back to the older ones. It's like, oh, I'll watch Ant-Man again, so I'll know it's.
I guarantee if you watch Fantastic Four or Superman on your phone, it'll be a better viewing experience than watching it on the big screen.
Well, that's the Film Threat guys were talking about how the people they know who make things for Netflix, that's like a mandate that it has to be framed in such a way that you can watch it on your phone. So that's why there's a lot of like big headshots and the way things are lit, so you can see everything if you're just watching it on a phone screen, which is why it's like bland as fuck when you try to watch it on a regular it doesn't look like a real movie. It's competently lit and it's competently sound. The sound is good. Everything is very competent, much more like a movie than old-timey network drama action TV. Like a action show on Netflix now looks more like an action movie than an episode of the A-Team ever did, or or Matlock, or whatever old-timey drama network TV show you used to watch. They look more like movies now on Netflix. But just when you look at what's happening, the way it's staged, it's very even. Okay, so real quick, the only thing that I think I've seen that I can share with you guys is I was watching this Rurouni Kenshin samurai series. It's based on a manga, which has got an anime, blah 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 blah. So they've made like 5 or 6 live action movies, and so my dad and I are watching them from the first one, and the fight scenes are fucking amazing. But it's weird because I've seen so many samurai movies, and each one of them is different. They have a different tone and different look and different. But this was made with some Netflix money in the background, and it's got that Netflix look and that Netflix feel. And if it wasn't for the fights being like fucking insane and the dude being kind of cool, I probably don't know if I could get through it because it's just like the Netflix version of stuff that I've seen before by very visionary. Some of them are very visionary filmmakers, or they've had their own unique look and flavor and tone and all that. And then this is like the flatlined. if you took your equalizer on your stereo and you cut out all the highs and you cut out all the lows and all that space, just whatever it comes in between, that's the Netflix version of everything. So.
All right, you got anything else, John?
No, that's it.
You haven't watched the new series of Strange New Worlds?
Yeah. I think the last episode I watched was
the murder mystery one.
No, I've not got that yet. I've got that to watch. The one where they went to the thing and the Klingons arrived and the zombies attacked them all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The one before that one was the one where they ripped off an original Trek series episode with the entity playing God, more or less, and it turns out to be a little kid.
The child, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that again. Because I think that's where Q came from in Next Generation. It's just a rip off of the Square Office, and I'm like, oh my God. But the latest one where the security officer gets trapped on a prototype of the holodeck is pretty good. Has some nice moments in it. Captain Pike plays a Roddenberry type character because it opens up like an alternate universe version of Star Trek the original series because they have the guy who plays Kirk in Strange New Worlds as the captain.
Right.
And he's trying to do the Shatnerisms where he pauses nearly every word like that.
Brilliant.
So there's some good stuff in there, but it's definitely gotten better. The first 2 episodes, I just groaned watching it. But, all right, I think you got anything else, Rossy?
No, I have said enough.
All right, you guys want to go ahead? Just so you guys want to do a Prog.
Let's drug.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
Okay, Prog 2443. We have a cover art by Tazio Betton. What do you think?
I like it. Very colourful. I love that orange effect behind the thing. I wish they didn't have the top line of writing. It's pointless again. I think the art's beautiful.
Rossy's bored. He's yawning.
Yeah, the cars are fantastic. I think the art reminds me a bit of Frank Whiteley. I think that deep outlines, and it's this is the wrong term, but to me it's like a clinical art. You know, there's nothing that's wrong with it. You know what I mean? It just really pops, and I love the colouring of the cards in comparison to the colouring of the characters. So it does everything for me.
Yeah, I like the cover. Yeah, I like the cover a lot, especially it's got cleavage, so it's good.
Of course.
Yep.
What do you think, Rossy?
It's got everything. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think these characters are pretty clever. The whole way the way they did the tarot cards is clever. The art's good. The coloring's good. I like it.
Did you read Droid Life, Rossy?
I did. It's it's another joke about AI and it's spitting out vegetable puns, and there really wasn't much of a punchline. It was just kind of like, here's some funny vegetable puns from 2000 AD, and there you go. It was good.
Okay, Judge Dredd Tunnels Part 5, Rob Williams, Orem Guerrera, who signs every page of his artwork, Julia Brusco, and Annie Parkhouse.
Once Dredd is safe inside the compound, the attacks fly in, and the local judges use small arms to take them all out. Then Dredd meets Silver, who is all relaxed, and the interview begins, and it's not going the way Joe wants it to. And Silver has everything he wants right here, so can't really be bribed. So Joe, as he does, shoots him in the foot. This quickly makes Silver give him the info he wants, and then Dredd leaves without being shot, or at the very least being detained by the local judges. In fact, they're actually happy to see Joe head off in the direction of Skoronsky. Dear me.
Jesus Christ!
So he's in a compound which hasn't got any other defences apart from judges shooting their equivalent lawgivers. That just seems ridiculous. And then I just could not believe that Dredd would just shoot him in the foot and the other judge didn't react, because the other judge would have instantly shot him, because it's one of those things, hang on, you're killing off this, you fired your weapon, my body would go into automatic mode of drawing my weapon and shooting you. It's like these judges are supposed to be like corrupt anyway, so they wouldn't be bothered. They would just make something up about how Dredd disappeared, and it's just like fucking hell.
Yeah, it'd be a reflex, right?
Yeah, it's a muscle memory thing. That noise right in front of you, you shot it, you just get straight in, because you might be thinking then, in a microsecond in your head, is this part of the attack that's happening outside? It's all that sort of stuff. But I read it in utter disbelief as I'm going through it in this tale.
Well, I did not disbelieve it at all, because this is the psycho way that Rob Williams writes every fucking thing that Judge Dredd does now. I mean, it's like, how does he even still have a badge? It's and then he just I think he thinks that's funny, and then to have just Dredd justified on the back end is even funnier. I mean, that's the formula that seems to be going on here. And it's like, but that it's so out of character, and it's kind of like you kind of have to respect Judge Dredd for any of these stories to work, and either he doesn't, or because when he acts like this, you don't respect him. It's like, that guy's a fucking psychopath. Put him somewhere where he won't hurt anybody. And the way Wagner would write him, it's like, yeah, he would resort to violence, but he would resort to violence. It wasn't just kind of like, well, I walked through, didn't get what I want, so I better shoot somebody, or pull a gun, or shoot a hole in the ceiling, or punch someone in the face. So I gave, it's like these stories always fall apart by at least the third installment. Where are we now? Part 5. We're there. Last week wasn't good either. So, and then of course they drove across town and killed like hundreds of people so Dredd could talk to this guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it feels like, all of his stories feel like trolling. It's like, okay, we're going to start with this really super violent opening action scene, like an American summer movie where hundreds of people die for no good reasons. Ha ha ha. See how meta this is. It's a statement on Hollywood and their action movie mentality. And then Dredd doesn't get what he wants, so he instantly resorts to violence. Ha ha ha. And it's like, not only is it not funny, not only does it damage their most valuable IP, not only does it all right. And, can't they Photoshop this guy's signature out? I mean, it is a little distracting.
Yeah.
I respect...
And I'll tell you another thing as well. The shooting of the foot, Dredd actually holds the other judge under gunpoint. He actually turned around. Now, if you look at the weapon in those 3 panels, I don't know what the best weapon is. It looks like sort of Dirty Harry's Magnum. Then that's in the Murd panel. Then in the Don't panel, that's the Lawgiver. You can see it. Then in the panel below that, I don't know what weapon that is, but it's not a Lawgiver. He's changed the bloody Dredd's weapon.
Well, I do like the artist, but he basically draws bad cosplay Dredd, because the uniform looks nothing like Dredd's. Really, it kind of has a passing resemblance, but not.
Yeah.
But you'll be telling me next that he'll be wearing the eagle on the wrong shoulders.
Well, in the penultimate page, the bottom left-hand panel, it looks like Dredd's eagle is holding up the guy's chin. Tangents,
Oh, yeah.
people, tangents.
And he
That was
keeps
an easy
drawing
fix too. That was an easy fix too, and he didn't do it.
and he keeps drawing the boot holster with it, the strap open, even when the weapon is in the. If you look on the second page, bottom left panel, the lawgiver is in the boot holster, but the panels open, the strap's open, because the strap's open in those panels you just mentioned when he's actually got it in his hand.
Yeah. All right.
And okay, and this whole story is like, okay, once again, Dredd had to land in the city, be driven through the city where like hundreds of people died in the opening shootout, come talk to this guy, and then get information from this guy, go land somewhere in the Amazon, talk to somebody else. It's like, couldn't these, even though they're corrupt judges, because, you know, Latin America, of course, but couldn't these guys have done that footwork ahead of time so they could just go like, okay, we're just going to land the ship at whatever this resort where the Democrats, I mean, they wouldn't have much of a story at that point, but it's like...
I've got a better idea. Why not just do it on a screen?
There you go. Do it on a screen or just, I mean, the judges could have, the Ciudad Barranquilla, Banana Republic City judges could have talked to this guy ahead of time. I mean, why did Dredd have to stand there and be the one to ask the questions? But again, it's just, it feels like trolling. Like the whole thing is like a big meta troll on this kind of story and that kind of storytelling. So, you know, if he hates his readers so much, he's welcome to it. So,
John, did you read the sci-fi special?
Some of it.
Well, that says it all.
yeah.
In fact, I've got it here. I'll just tell you what I did read. Just about. I didn't read Dread. I looked at the art. I didn't read The Out. What's next? It's a subscriber thing. Future Shock. I didn't bother reading that.
Did you not read The Out yet, or are you just not going
I haven't read it yet. Anti-Crucis, I haven't read that. I must have read something. Anti-Crucis, what's that one? What's that? No, I haven't read that. Strontium Dog, did I read that? Is that the story I read? No, I didn't read that. I haven't read anything. I thought I'd read one thing.
Wow.
You read the cover.
Pretty good.
Too custard. Too much.
Okay, The Ravelous Pact Part 4, T.C. Eglinton, Steve Austin, John Charles, and letters by Simon Boland.
Jason and the crew break into the compound, and straight away the guards open up on them. They stop the car and bomb burst from it, looking for the container. Jason and his now demon brother-in-law go one way, and the two red shirts go another. People on both sides are shot in a wee bit of confusing action, including dead birds falling from the sky. Then Jason makes it to the container, and he and his Balal brother-in-law take out the two guards protecting the item, and then they have a chat before they set off with it.
Well, what you think?
It's not the sort of thing that I sort of am enjoying.
Well, thanks for pointing out that it's confusing action, because I did have to go back a couple of times.
Yeah, because the problem was they looked very similar to flak jackets on. The only thing that was different was the bald heads.
Right.
And I was thinking, hang on, are they with them, or was that the other two with them? And obviously setting it in a docks with all the isometric containers is not a good background thing. It works on a film because you can follow them around, but on static images like this, you're like, oh, hang on a second, which bit's what? Yeah.
Well, I don't care for it at all. I think the storytelling is all over the place.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's the writer or that's the artist, but it's it's not for me.
Hmm.
What about you, Rossy?
Um, I'm enjoying it more than you guys are, but I'm starting to lose. I don't want to say lose my patience with it because that sounds like, but it was difficult to tell. I mean, because of maybe it was just me, but apparently not because John had this problem too. It was some of the action was like, why is this happening? Who is it happening to? Um, and I don't know if there's a less, and they're after this MacGuffin thing, and I don't know. It was. Where are we with the story? I keep forgetting part 4. It feels like it's already like been going on for a long time, but it is only part 4, so something's going to happen to keep the interest up, because otherwise it's just kind of getting to be like it's feels like that Mobland series with demons and monsters, which again I have a feeling that's probably how it was pitched. That's not a terrible thing to be, but it's also like, another 2000 AD story that's like based on something else that the kids will like, and feels like it's a TV series you could have watched, on some streaming channel. So it's all as a strip of the comic, I don't mind it, but I also wish that they had come up with something a little more. I'm still waiting for them to come up with something like good old-fashioned 2000 ADE, but what would that even look like now?
Mm. Okay, Tharg's Thrillers, Relict, Invasive Species Part 3, Honor Vincent, script, art, Lee Milmore, and letters, Simon Boland.
Okay, so the evil mouse or rat or whatever, evil rodent is taking a ride on one of the flying dragonfly things that have been eating the other mice, and once they land, it bites it and kills it, and the other little mice are following its shadow on the ground. They also have the bag that's got the dragonfly larva in there. The plan was to have the larva make the smell that will make the dragonflies come and feed them, which would actually be feeding the mice. So there you go. Backstory. So anyway, the evil rat, mouse, rodent goes on a rampage and kills all the other semi-intelligent mice, frees the other evil rat rodents. There's some kind of algae that's burnable that the talking mouse says, hey, light it, and it'll catch fire and light up the little rat hole. The little white mouse that's semi-verbal gets attacked by the evil one. She sticks some of that algae or moss in its mouth, lights its face on fire. So that's the one that chewed its arm off. Then there's another one of these that grabs her. The one that had its face on fire, I think this is supposed to be a flashback panel about the deal that they had made. The verbal mouse uses the dart gun and makes the evil rodent melt. The whole place catches on fire. The evil rat rodents burn. The little verbal white mouse had her ear chewed off in the process. The other mice start licking their wounds, and the talking one says, no, don't lick it. You'll cause infection. And they turn on him because that's what they feel like doing. He says, I'm sorry. He goes back and starts prepping one of the larvae, and kind of ends on a down note. So he's like pulling out the little sacks that are going to bring the dragonflies with food.
It's going to be continued. I think that there's a new series already in the works.
Oh, this is a pitch for the series for sure. Yeah.
Well,
not the most satisfying ending that I could have hoped for. It just feels like
it's not really an ending. It's a lead into the series.
Yeah, it's like part 3 of what will be 20 or something like that.
I thought the artwork was fantastic. The use of the darkness and the way the lights just the circle around them, and then when you turn over them after the first 2 pages, and the fire effects on the rats on the opposite page, it was fantastic. It was really a good use of the darkness and the brightness of that. But yeah, it was a mega down ending. But the art on the rats and stuff was really fantastic, especially that second page where you've got the one jumping at there, all the wrinkles and stuff, because it really looks like sort of like a wrinkly rat.
The third page.
No, the second one. Is it the third page? Is the one before that? Oh yeah, bloody hell! Maybe on the third page. Yeah, where it jumps and all the wrinkles on it. But yeah, like you said, and we said last week, we thought this would go into a series probably. And this ending definitely looks like it is going to go into something in the future. By popular demand, Thag will say.
Or the ECBT guys like it, will never bring it back again. Roll out Skip Tracer.
But the problem is, then you have these massive gaps.
Roll out Trader General.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And then we'll have massive gaps before the next one. You know what I mean? It's like we waited so long for. I can't even remember the story now. The one with the world where they were above the clouds and the balloons and stuff. And
helium.
Yeah, helium. We waited. It felt like a century before we got the next. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the art was fantastic. Really enjoyable stuff. Just we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. It's good stuff. All right. Azimuth, Abandoned by God, Part 4. Dan Abnett, Tajio Benton, Matt Soff, and the Cosplay Cowboy, Dim Dumbbell.
All right. So you might think that I would think that this is the greatest chapter in 2000. But it's not. It's okay. There's a cage fight between Dexter and a masked luchador. Oh, he had a really clever name, too. Megahertz. Hurts. Always a clever name with Dan Abnett. So he's absolutely gigantic, and they make a big deal. This cage dampens anybody's superpowers or abilities. So it's just raw fist to gut action here. And the two characters from the cover are fighting him on. It's Thelema and Luigi. Luigi. Luigi's got the Ouija board tattooed on her chest. Meanwhile, Anderson is lying on the ground, unconscious and or miserable. So Dexter uses a bunch of soft spots and pressure points to bring down the big guy, bring down the megahertz. Meanwhile, the white-wearing Assassins Guild is on its way to this place where the fight's taking place. They revealed that one of the characters who hates Dexter is Tuesday Weld, and slowly some of the other characters,
that's his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it's his ex-girlfriend. And so everything, I guess, I wasn't exactly clear, but they said something about everything's inverted there, or that this place inverts everything. So she loved him in the real world, but that's why she hates him in this world, I think.
No, I think they had a huge falling out in the real world.
Yeah, well, they say that the more you get rebooted here, the more you forget your old life as well. So I'm not sure. Some of that was unclear to me.
Doesn't matter. The fucking story's been going on for 200 years.
Right. So they're doing their Lord of the Rings march to this city, and then the fight continues. And
why don't they have any vehicles in the city?
Because then you wouldn't get another 3 installments out of this. And they did have vehicles. They had all those Mad Max vehicles, remember?
Yeah.
So, well, they have them in the city, but these guys are coming from a place where there's no no vehicles, I guess. And none of them can fly, even though they can do everything else. So anyway, the cliffhanger is that the big guy's got Dexter by the neck. And it doesn't look like the pressure points attack is going to be enough.
Poor Lestat. Well, what you think? Love the artwork, but the story's like, meandering a bit.
Yeah, exactly the same. I just thought, if I'm going to complain about tiny women beating big men up, this is the exact same thing. There's no way on this planet that Dexter would survive. If you're a good fighter and you're big, as all these boxers and people say, a big good fighter will always beat a small good fighter.
But this is a virtual reality world, though, John.
Well, yeah, but the powers are dampened, aren't they? Mm. So that muscle mass of him would still absorb these kicks and stuff. You know, he's going for these pressure points. His body is about 3 times the thickness of Dexter, isn't he? So, but artwork's fantastic as per normal. We'll see where it goes. I'm sure Dexter will lose, obviously.
Yes, I may have already read this week's issue since recording a little late, and I may have conflated this week's with last week's a little bit in my description there. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. Scarlet Trace's Empire of Blood, Part 12. Ian Edgerton, Disraeli, and Annie Parkhouse.
All right. So, the Germans are looking at the alien warship, tripod. What do you call those the Martian war? Well, Martian war machines. The Martian war machines that they had just shot up.
But they were called tripods as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
In the other knockoff series, yes. So I know all about that one too. So anyway, the Germans are going to try to transport it out of England. Meanwhile, there's this red weed disposal that the good guys are hanging out in, standing around talking about what their next move should be. Everybody seems to have left the scene. There's bickering amongst the guys. Boy, there's a lot of bickering going on. The ex-Bobby gives the inspector guy a gun. So anyway, that goes on for like 2 or 3 pages, and there's a lot of character and plot movement. And then the inspector guy spots one of the Germans, unloading something out the back door. There's a German guy draws a gun. There's a shootout. The guy who's all burnt up gets grazed in the head. Bobby returns fire. That guy gets a bunch of shards in his face from the missed shot. And then the Germans go into action, and it looks like the burnt guy's been hurt very badly, and the Bobby's ready to go to war. Not my best description. Yeah, not my best description, but it was kind of like all that talking. I was like, oh, what did they say during that? There was a lot of setup for the next one, really.
Yeah, I enjoyed the build-up and then the sudden, thorough action at the doorway, so I quite enjoyed that. And poor Ned got one of the bit of a graze, like you see, on the head. And I do like the way the copper with the bowler hat, basically the bodyguard one, he shouts out bastard, and then he stands for the final panel. Stands with kneeling with the poor Ned against him. Quite like that, and I love the shot up in the German space. But yeah, typical fantastic artwork. The way the story unfolds is really good, and the character reactions to each other and the scenes they're involved in works really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
And I've got to say, I did love the Bobby Charlton comb over on the final page, the the lovely headshot we get of it.
Rossy wouldn't know who Bobby Charlton is, but yeah. Good stuff. The artwork's nice, story's good. Pottering along.
Yeah. It's a perfectly good part where it's way higher up. Part 12. So, bet you didn't even know it was that far along.
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel that long. It is a bit of a slow burn with a little bit of action here and there, but yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what was your favorite?
Well, as Scarlet Chasers always takes top spot, but not this week, because the Thargs Thrillers takes it from me with the downer of an ending, the fantastic artwork, and the way the fire is used. That sort of like 2 pages are just awesome. Best 2 pages in the prog for me, with the eyes of the rats and the main rat sort of popping out of the shadows, and then all the characters on fire on the next page. So I quite enjoyed that the most.
What about you, Rossy?
I agree for all of those reasons.
I think we're all... that sounds like a speeder bike in the background.
Yeah.
I agree with... I think we're all in agreement that the story with the mice is the best one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Actually, I mean, everything else is like pretty mid, so mid to terrible. So
I don't think you might as well get used to this the next couple of progs, because I think coming up we have the lineup is going to stink.
Well, having said, I mean, not to, but the Trader General story is a one and done. So I don't know.
Oh, but Alex the Campy takes over.
Oh, God, no! Why? Oh, like right after?
She's probably threatened them that she'll say horrible things to make them kill themselves.
No
if they don't get
kidding.
aware.
Yeah, or just make up terrible things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, you're probably right about that. So it's going to be, God knows how long this Rob Williams story is going to go on. So it's going to be a terrible dread. It's going to be the whatever you're expecting from the Trader General story, you will not be disappointed. And then Alex DeCampi, so crappy rogue trooper for the foreseeable future. This kind of mid streaming show in comic form that I'm enjoying more than you guys. And Scarlet Traces, which, was a huge, huge favorite. Izimuth, which just keeps going on in a harmlessly entertaining way. Clever names, clever ideas, clever dialogue, beautiful artwork. Seems to be going somewhere, but Dan Abnett's talent is to keep it seem like it's moving when it's not. And again, Scarlet Traces, which was a huge favorite, but this one was kind of like not exactly the most essential side quest that they could have. So, yeah, there you go. 2000 AD, the Galaxy's greatest comic.
All right, anything to say before we hit the road?
Well, pray for me, fellow listeners, because I'm going to head off to the land of the doomed next week, and I'm sure it'll be a hellish 2.5 weeks being taught.
You're going to Scotland.
That's right.
Well,
to the EU.
Are you? We'll talk about details of the plan later. But am I meeting you at the airport? Was that
no? The next day, the Friday.
Okay, so you're landing, you're getting everything settled, and then like on Friday, I'll see you at the we'll have our fun.
We'll discuss where we'll meet, but we'll take you back in the vehicle.
Beautiful. Okay. Then as soon as I see you, don't let me forget, I have one of those red ICE cards to give you. So if an ICE agent stops you for being a foreigner...
I'm going to try and get myself a nice jacket so when I walk into shops, everyone will run away. I said, where's the staff? Help myself to everything.
Yeah. Well, that's what the actual agents do because they're all corrupt.
Yeah.
They're not after safety or anything. It's just
That's it.
fascism on display. It's like anyway. So, all right. Well, are we still going to do what we do on Monday or?
I'm okay for Monday, but obviously the couple of weeks after that, obviously I won't be.
Yeah, we'll have to put up a different thing, or me and you, Rossy, will have to record without John.
We'll do it.
Listen to it. I'm driving along.
Well, yeah, you could do it. I mean, if I could do it we're doing it on Messenger now, so you should be able to do it from your phone.
I'm not going to be.
John's not going to do that when he's on his holiday.
I'm not doing that on
holiday. I don't read the Prog on my holiday. That's work.
Now, the Prog is physically going to be in the house, isn't it? I'm after to get somebody to get two Progs for me.
Oh well, I mean, I could lend you the one that's in my iPad. I already have the one for the.
I don't need shit on the iPad.
And of course, it's an old iPad because it's me.
It's probably an iPad 1, isn't it? Or so what do they call them?
Well, at least it's color. It's an iPad of color. So, all right. Well, that's. I am very much looking forward to all of those things. I'm actually asked for Thursday off, so I'll be able to monitor your progress. If you need anything, I can rush out there on the bus. And 3 hours later, I'll be.
We're basically going to get the car, drive to the hotel, get all the stuff out that I want, because I basically unpack the bags anyway.
Sure.
Unpack the bags,
crash,
get cleaned up, and then pop out for a meal, and then just go back.
Yeah, that's a 21-hour flight or something.
I think it's 11 and a quarter or something, but I've already looked online to see what films are on. And TV shows and stuff.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
All right. Sounds great. Well then, that's a little preview of what's ahead for our listener too.
Yes.
You can listen to John's Adventures in Trumpland.
Well, that's right. I'm sure it's going to be horrendous.
Okay, I'll stop recording.